Greetings, Taekwondo family. Welcome once again to Miami Minutes, the show that welcomes the return of that son of a bitch. I am one of your hosts, John Parker.
And right there, it's me, Niall McGowan.
I love the way I can tell just from that sound what you're doing. That's amazing. Incredible. What a minute for noises.
I think it's the only bit of dialogue in this scene that's not ADR. Is that son of a bitch?
Oh, there is some great there's not much dialogue, but every line's gold.
No, it's back to just very action-heavy minutes, but there's, at least it's not just YK Kim by himself this time. It's actually like other people doing notable things in the background. So, but yeah, I mean, I was very happy with this minute just because of this other. You could have cut it at 3 seconds when he says that and be like, there we go, that's a minute. I'm done with that.
Well, that's all you need, baby. That's how you know it's a successful minute. And the minute in question is minute 50. It starts with some dead meat. And it ends with some swift feet.
I did note there, Dexy's, because he still has the bandage on.
Which is looking more and more ridiculous each time you see it.
I was just noting, though, that this time maybe this is an intimidation technique, because if you look at it, it does look like it's kind of quite centered on his head when you see it front on. He's got the sunglasses on. Maybe he's trying to blag that he's, like, Japanese. And he's trying to that'll make them think I'm like a cool karate guy.
Yeah, he's just swiveled it round so the stain is at the front.
And that's why he's like, cover up my eyes so they can't tell that I'm just a white guy. And then just put on this, keep my he has to keep cutting open his wound to refreshen the blood stain and stuff. Like Shia
LaBeouf did on that movie.
Yeah, the tank movie. What was that called? Fury? Is that
Fury, yeah. Apparently, I don't know if it's true, but apparently, yeah, didn't he, he kept cutting his face open with a knife.
Yeah. Well, it just seems like, it's like, well, it's always going to be, be a little painful. But also, it's like, it feels it's just going to, you're opening yourself up to, a lot of infection that way. Because you're just not letting the thing heal properly. But yeah.
It'll scar up. Nasty, that.
Yeah, obviously, probably Shia himself probably think, well, if we got a scar out of it, it would be pretty cool as well. But, that's the everything about Shia though currently is very obviously a very troubled individual, causing a lot of trouble for other people.
I mean, I used to be a bit of a fan, but I daren't say that anymore.
See, he used to always just be the annoying kid from Even Stevens to me. And then I remember seeing the first Transformers. I was like, oh, he's pretty funny in that. And then for a while, just like, nope, don't like this guy. He's just annoying because Hollywood was trying to force him down your throat. And it was towards the end of everything with him when he started making what was that the movie you'd actually quite like it because I think Mick Foley's in it. He made a movie about him. It was him and Dakota Johnson and this kid who was I think he had Down syndrome. And they were on a raft going down a river, and it was, what do they call it? It was
Let's have a look. I've just looked up, is it this movie, The Peanut Butter Falcon?
That's the one, yeah.
I haven't even heard of that.
Yeah, I think the kid in it is Shia LaBeouf's little brother, I think.
Wait, in real life?
No, it's just in the movie. But he's really obsessed with wrestling, and but they want to put him in an institution or something. So Shia LaBeouf is just runs he's a trawler kind of guy or something, that goes out and fishes for crabs and stuff. And yeah, he just all right, I'm just rescuing this kid and we're going to go make him a wrestler. And yeah, there's a bit at the end where I was just looking, they just encounter this guy near the end, but I'm just Jesus, what's up with that guy's ear? And after a while I was like, wait a minute, I know that gait.
I know that lack of ear.
Yeah, I know that stringy black hair. It's oh, that's him. It's freaking Mick Foley.
Holy crap, I've just looked it up. Yeah, Mick Foley as Jacob, and another old wrestler, Jake the Snake Roberts, as Sam.
Oh, that's right, yeah. Jake the Snake's in it too. Who I thought was dead for a long time.
No, somehow he's alive. He's been through a lot, a lot of drink and drug problems. He can barely breathe. Yeah.
They did that documentary about him way, 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And I remember watching it, just been oh, it was really, really depressing. So I think just now in my memory, I'm he also died at the end of it.
No, he's still around. He pops up in AEW. He's the manager for Who's he the manager for? That's going to bug me now. Lance Archer. He's the manager for Lance Archer. But
I was like,
you don't see him
Lance Armstrong. Like, what?
Lance Armstrong. Yeah. No, I'm assuming they've only paired them up, really, because Lance Archer's evil, and that was Jake's thing. He was a good guy sometimes, but he was always best when he was evil. And he was really, like psychological, you know? But also, he went through a phase when he turned good of being super, super, super religious. Okay. And that's actually what led to the creation of Stone Cold Steve Austin. Long story, but Lance Archer's super, super religious in real life. His character's not, but he's got really over the top Christian tattoos all over him and stuff. And you're like, wow, that's intense.
Yeah. It's I don't even know what you'd want someone like this. Jake, has he got business savvy? Like, he feels like he was like a husk of a man the last I saw of him. So maybe he's clawed his way back as he goes. He's a very sensible manager these days.
I think he's got a lot of knowledge he can impart. You know, he can't really get involved. You know, like usually managers get involved a little bit and, you know, help cheat. He can't really do much of that because he sometimes has to take time off to be on like a ventilator and things.
Oof, moly.
But, you know, I imagine he's helping behind the scenes, giving wisdom because he was very good, very, very good back in the day.
Well, but they had the Peanut Butter Falcon and then Honey Boy, which was Shia LaBeouf directed. You know, it was sort of like an autobiography or biopic.
Yeah, I heard about that one.
Yeah, and they were both really good. And I was like, so maybe he's winning me over, this LaBeouf guy. And then everything happened. And then even after that, too, because he plays his own dad in Honey Boy, and his dad comes off as just the most careless, abusive piece of crap ever.
Ew.
And then he came out afterwards going like this was years afterwards, saying like, oh yeah, my dad was actually like a really nice guy. Like I made all that up. Like that has nothing to do with it. So like, you might want to say that at the time because I spent years thinking like, oh, poor kid was bossed around by his abusive dad, and he's like shy himself, going like, no, my dad's a great guy. No.
His dad was a son of a bitch.
He was a son of right there.
I want to call my dad that one day. Nah, that's harsh. That's
if only you could hire Dexy to call him that in person. But I think Dexy's is dead, isn't he? I think we found that out.
Oh crap! Yeah.
You remember? He was a lawyer. He was convicted of sexual assault, I think.
Oh.
And then I think he's dead. So
I think I blanked all that out of my brain. Oh, much like Shia LaBeouf. Let's remember the good times. Yeah.
Unless I'm also now like much like I thought Jake the Snake was dead. Because like, well, things got pretty dark there. I guess he's dead. Maybe Dexy's still. It's like, no, he's alive. You know, he's just a son of a bitch himself. He has come that which he fought against.
Oh. Well, we should probably start the minute. Technically,
yes.
we are back with Dragon Sound, you know, arriving for the train track showdown with Jeff and co. And immediately, Dexy and his goons go on the verbal. The offensive, you're dead meat, your history.
I was wondering if are they speaking to one in particular, or are they just speaking to Dragon Sound as a group?
Well, I have that exact question, especially with the next line, which we keep. You know, I'm just going to say it. You know, that son of a bitch right there. It's the right there because that then made me think. Yeah, is he referring to Mark?
I think because Mark he's the most impressive of them all, so it must be him. Like he must be the guy they're going for. But
he's got to be right because he's that son of a bitch. So that's a singular.
Yeah, so maybe like John and Joe were just like John or Joe Jack or Jack Diamond, whatever. Maybe they're both like, oh, so we don't even need to come. You just want him. All right.
Oh, we'll leave then. We'll leave. Yeah. Good luck, Mark.
That's why, Angelo and Jim aren't there. They're just like, sorry, Tom and Jim. They might be like, but they just want him. Like he was the only one who did anything, really, wasn't he? You know, but
it's also interesting. Like, why does it, in the context of this scene, why does it need pointing out that Mark's now here? That son of a bitch right there. It's like there's only 3 guys. Like I think they can pick out who it is. You've just, the Korean guy.
It's like they're talking amongst themselves. Like this is Dexy's to like Dexy's Jr. or Dexy's his right hand man. But all they ever do, ever since we've seen him since that fight, was all he does is, oh, sons of bitches, I'm gonna kick their asses. And they were just sitting there going, oh, I can't wait to get that son of a bitch. And there he is with that son of a bitch right there.
Oh, you know what? I've found since doing this show, it's slipped into my vocabulary a lot more. I'm calling everybody a son of a bitch.
I always I have said it a lot, but it's always in reference to the end of Midnight Run. Joe Pantoliano says it in a very Joe Pantoliano. People will know him as was Cypher. He was in The Matrix.
Yeah, Cypher.
And of course, he was in The Sopranos as Ralphie Cifaretto. Great character actor. Joe Pantoliano.
Well, that's the only thing, though. As soon as you see him in The Matrix, you're like, this guy's shifty.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But no, there's a bit like at the end of Midnight Run, which is just a great movie, and I highly recommend it to everybody at all times. But yeah, like the De Niro finally has Charles Grodin. He's finally almost got him to the venue, and like Pantoliano is the bail bondsman who wants him. Like he's like, this guy's skipping out. Like I need you to go get him because Robert De Niro's a bounty hunter who goes and collects people who have skipped bail and stuff. And like so, but De Niro's had a change of heart because Charles Grodin's actually a really good guy in the movie, and they've had a crazy adventure to get where they are and stuff. But like just De Niro calls him on a payphone, and he's just like, it's like, oh, so say hello to the Duke, and just Joe Pantoliano's going like, you son of a bitch, we got you, you son of a bitch. And De Niro's like, yeah, I'll say goodbye to him because I'm gonna let him go, and just like hangs up the phone. It's just like, oh, it's the big twist at the end that De Niro lets him go and stuff. But great.
Which movie came first though? I'm trying to think of the time frame of that.
I think that was I think it was 85 Midnight Run.
Oh, so it beat this.
Yeah, weirdly enough too, we frequent guest of that minute. 88. Oh no, so just after this.
Oh, I was going to say maybe this is referencing Midnight Run, but maybe it's the other way around.
Yeah, Joe Pantoliano he was one of the few people in the theater who's like, I like that delivery. I got to steal that for myself.
And I wouldn't blame him one bit.
Yeah, but no, that was frequent guest of Batman. Lauren Ashley Carter was telling me she had to cover for other frequent guest of That Minutes, Natasha Kermani, who was doing the thing where she was always hired to interview people for things. So she interviewed Robert Rodriguez for a thing, and all this kind of stuff. And she was supposed to do the Blu-ray features for Midnight Run, and couldn't do them. So she just asked Lauren, because their friends was like, would you fill in and interview like Robert De Niro? And Lauren was like, yes, I will do that. And she said like, went and did a ton and absolute fuck ton of research for it. And then De Niro is just like, apparently he's a lovely man, but you just can't get anything out of him. Like he's just, and everything's just like, if you say that's what happened, then yeah, I guess so. Yeah. and so she was just sitting dying in this interview going like, I've done everything right. Why can't I turn this interview around? But
that must be so awkward.
Apparently De Niro's just like that though. Like I've always heard that he's an awkward interview. So he's
maybe it's not deliberate. Maybe he just doesn't like it.
I don't think he does. No, I don't think. I think he's always been very against like explaining his process and explaining everything about himself. And I know people who have said they know people who were like friends with him and stuff. Like even Scorsese and stuff has said like, oh, he doesn't have much of like a personality. He's just like he's there waiting for like maybe they're kind of probably like fancying it up and romanticizing it and crap.
Maybe he needs input.
They're saying like they're things like, oh, he's like an empty vessel waiting to get filled by the role. That's why he's such a good actor, is because he is just a blank canvas for which the character can exist upon.
That's depressing.
Yeah. It's like he has a wife and stuff. He has kids, I think. He's having a kid right now. He's having a kid at 82 years old. So,
right, I don't want to tell anyone what to do, but that feels a bit irresponsible.
Oh, no, totally. I mean, him having a baby at 82, Pacino having a baby at 83.
Yeah.
It's just like, well, that kid's going to grow up without a father then. Because...
Yeah, basically. Like, people can go, oh, yeah, but they're set for life. Like, yeah, but they're not going to have a father.
Yeah. Like, maybe they're like, well, how do you don't know? You don't know that those guys won't live to 96 or something. It's like, I mean, I guess they could, but like...
It's not likely.
Yeah. And plus, they weren't able to do anything with the kids, It's like, you saw The Irishman. You saw how De Niro can't move.
Walk.
Maybe that's why his wife was just like, oh, you're looking so young and virile in The Irishman. I thought you were like 25 years old.
She got the studio to help de-age him in the bedroom.
I like to think though that That's due to DH. And it was like having to hold up a screen in front of her face and stuff.
Hey, if it does the trick.
This is the thing, right? Those hips are still. We can look all you want. Those hips are still freaking 82.
Hips don't lie.
No, they don't. They don't. No. Oh.
But yes, the minutes. So Dragon Sound spring into action. The moment is now. And you know what? You notice what they do? They all leap over the car doors, which means you got to take a drink. And there's 3 of them. Take 3 drinks or 1 giant one.
Oh, one thing I should point out though before we skip past what potentially might be the last son of a bitch of the movie.
Oh no! You know what? It might. I think it might be. Yeah.
Yeah. It's because I can't remember what becomes of Dexy. It's like now I feel like I can't look ahead. I dread to see what might be. I see him like kind of unceremoniously getting his ass handed to him in this minute later on. But
that's the thing, listeners. We're not lying when we say this. Like obviously we've watched the movie a million times, but since starting this. I mean, I don't know if we haven't sort of discussed it, but I think we've kind of got a weirdly wordless pact of like, oh, but we're not watching the whole movie again.
Oh, no, yeah. And plus, too, I think watching it through beginning to end, like Dexy's, he didn't have the same impact on me he's had since doing it minute by minute. Once you're in there with him, it's like, oh no, now this is like the star of the movie, this guy. But
this has made me appreciate the movie more.
Yeah,
and I already loved it.
Yeah. But no, I tried to look up the first instance of son of a bitch been used in a movie. I couldn't find it, unfortunately. But I did just find the origin of the phrase. And like many things, it of course goes back to William Shakespeare. So maybe he just Dexy's trying to class up this place. Like, I'll bring a bit of Shakespeare to this piece of crap movie.
Yeah, we all think he's being crude and rude. It's like, no, I'm quoting the bard.
Yeah, and Angelo is a buddy. That's where he's off doing that like doing the breakdance that Michelangelo does in the opening titles of the Turtles. That's where Angelo is right now, in that weird disco nether realm that Michelangelo is for that one little section of the. But no, apparently it goes back to King Lear, and I've just found it's actually part of a much bigger, very impressive insult, where it's a King Lear from 1605. And Lear's protector, the Duke of Kent, takes a hard line with Goronel's steward, Oswald, for the way he has treated Lear, and attacks him both physically and with this memorable tirade, which goes, "A knave, a rascal, an eater of broken meats, a proud, shallow, beggarly, 3-suited, 100-pound, filthy, worsted stocking knave." So three suited, like what? I don't know what the hell that means, but like
that's all incredible.
Yeah, 3 buttons is very 90s, Mr. Wayne, but that is but the first quarter. It then goes on to say, "A lily-livered, action-taking knave, a whoreson, glass-gazing, super serviceable, finical rogue, one trunk inheriting slave, one that wouldst be a bawd in way of good service and art nothing but the composition of a knave, beggar, coward, pandar, and the son and heir of a mongrel bitch, one whom I will beat into clamorous whining if thou deniest the least syllable of thy addition." And,
oh my God, I need him to say those lines.
Oh, that would be amazing. He came out YK, I've worked something into the script here, man. And that's why they had the ADR and everything out. He came out and was like, "Oh, knave, a rascal, an eater of broken meats." And they're like, take all that out. Just put in that son of a bitch bit.
Oh, what was the exact line there? It was the son and heir of a mongrel bitch.
Yeah.
Oh, that's marvelous.
I wonder that though, where's Morrissey got that from for How Soon Is Now? Well, the Smiths song How Soon Is Now is the "I am the son, I am the heir of a shyness that is criminally vulgar." I wonder if because Morrissey's a Shakespeare guy, so like
I could imagine that. Yeah,
I imagine that probably is going back to like the son and heir of a mongrel bitch is probably what spawned that original thing.
I can imagine those exact words in his voice.
I know a lot of that. I thought it must have been a big insult though back in the day. The knave, like I knew of it as an insult because or
it
just
sounds
as a
tame though, doesn't it?
Yeah. I think now because like what's one of like the nicknames for the Joker is the Ace of Knaves and stuff.
Yeah, a knave seems like a cheeky scamp rather than like a son of a bitch.
But it's just like the fact that he keeps coming back to it. Like, a knave, a rascal, a worsted stocking knave, a lily-livered action-taking knave, a whoreson, super-civil finical knave. It's like, and then at one point switches to slave. Like, no, that DSL isn't doing. Knave is the only.
It's getting more and more and more like a wrestling promo. You're like the Macho Man. Oh, yeah, you're a knave.
What, Kim? You say you love me like a brother.
Hell yeah.
He does have he has the beard and the sunglasses, so I wouldn't be surprised if he did the old. Like, just take them off and flick them. I don't know, we probably talked about that promo on this show before, but if anyone wants to treat themselves, just look up Macho Man Randy Savage's promos for WrestleMania 5, where he's either on a lot of cocaine, a lot of steroids, or both. But he looks as if like his skeleton is about to erupt from his skin. He's so pent up in it.
The thing I love as well, you could read it in, there's two Macho Man voices. Everyone always does the yeah, dig it. But then there's the other Macho Man where he's really quiet. I could imagine him doing that, be like, the son and heir of a Mongol bitch, yeah.
A rascal, an eater of broken meats, a proud, shallow, beggarly, 3-suited, 100-pound, filthy, worst-sucking knee.
Yes.
There's bound to have been a wrestler who's like a Shakespearean guy. Like, that seems like that's a thing that... Yeah, throughout that would have been prime 80s, like early WWF. There had to have been like a guy who came out in the stockings, like the frilly neck collar. And his whole thing was that he just spoke really fancy iambic pentameter and stuff like that. And if not, then geez Louise, the people have been sleeping on it. We got to get this guy in the ring right now, goddammit.
I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Off the top of my head, I can't come up with one, but there's got to have been one. There absolutely has to have been. I know there was there was Aidan English who would come out and be sort of quite theatric and fanciful, and he would sing like in an operatic style. Once he got in the ring, he would sing his own theme song, and people would throw roses. It's like, that's about the closest I can think of off the top of my head. And he was in a tag team, the Vaudevillains.
Yeah. So I googled him there. It's like, no, he's not fancy enough looking for my liking.
No, that was the only thing with him. He never went full fancy. He did wear a nice scarf. He always looked like he would have been in a play.
Yeah,
rather than from Shakespeare times, It looked like he would be in a play now.
Yeah, no, I'm hoping for the full on like the old timey handlebar mustache with a long pointy beard. The whole again the frilly neck collar. Maybe he comes out with a skull in his hand. He cracks over people's heads and stuff.
His tag team partner back then had a nice mustache. This is really off topic, but I don't care. Let me find it. That's him and his tag team partner, the Vaudevillains. He had a nice mustache.
Let's see. Oh, no, that's a good mustache. Yeah. Oh, no, he's closer to what I want. Yeah. If you put him in a fancier outfit, then that's it. Yeah, that's exactly right. You don't even have a shirt, just have the frilly collar and then bare chest.
I can see it, yeah.
Yeah, just something. This is something we should be going to somebody at AEW or something with this and be like, well, just putting it out there. I mean, not them, but at least go to like the English. Actually, you would be better served in the English circuits first, maybe, and then it could be like, who's that guy that everybody really loves? Like Kano, is that what you call him?
Grado.
Grado, yeah. You get in with him. That kind of crowd, and you work your way up,
Yeah,
but,
you could do that. You could easily do that. ICW would be funny because you'd be a villain just because you were being super English. Be great. Like there's a guy, I think I've said before on the show, there's a guy whose entire character is like how much he loves Margaret Thatcher. And the shows are in Scotland, so it's deliberately like everyone's like, oh, bro, you piece of shit, you son of a bitch.
What's that I watched literally the other day? And someone was saying like the joke was someone's secret shame was that they masturbated to the Iron Lady.
Oh no! It's a tough one because of who's playing the part, right?
But no, even if it's Meryl Streep, it's Meryl Streep made up to look like Margaret Thatcher. Like it's not...
Yeah, but some people really like Meryl Streep, so I imagine they have a conundrum.
I'm trying to remember what the hell that was now. Like, I haven't seen. It wasn't. I went to see like a really artsy Korean movie last night. And it's like, no, it definitely wouldn't have been that. Although if it was that would have been something. Oh no, it was in Harley Quinn. It was in the Harley Quinn animated series. That's very much up their avenue of humor, to be fair. But no, actually, before we skip on, I just want to say around second 2. Because we have the, that's a dead meat. There's a quick shot of Dragon Sound with John looking to Mark. And I just have to say, like, Jack Diamond in the back there.
I knew you were going to say
he looks like he's doing a bad De Niro impression there. He's got the face of it's me. It's De Niro. Yeah.
Maybe he was just practicing his De Niro. He didn't realize the camera was on him.
Yeah, he's going to do the little black dot on his cheek, and then he's going, I'm going to, it could be a lot of because we're getting up near, maybe they were filming Midnight Run.
Yeah.
And he's like, I understand he needs like a body double or something. Like, I could be De Niro's body double.
Hey, that would actually be a good gig, yeah.
Yeah, I think they look similar enough. It's like, yeah, you could have been a stand-in or something.
He definitely has a vibe of him. Not just because of the face I'm staring at.
Yeah, the face right now. Yeah, he definitely has a vibe of him right there.
Oh, that's wonderful. I never even thought of that.
I must say, if there's something next time, I can say to Lauren, next time you're talking to De Niro, ask him if anyone from Miami Connection was, and suddenly that'll be the one thing he wants to talk about. They'll erupt him into life. It's like, the Miami Connection guy. Yeah, I love that guy.
I've been waiting all these years for somebody to ask me about.
Yeah, no one ever brings him up, but yeah, his name was Joe or Jack. I can never remember which.
Jack Joe.
Yeah, Jack Joe Big Toe.
No, I like Joe Jack. Actually, Joe Jack. Like Bojack.
Yeah. That's De Niro was in a movie called Billy Jack, I want to say. No, Jack Knife. That was the thing.
Jesus Christ, there's too many names getting thrown around.
There's a movie called Billy Jack that's like, I've not seen it. It looks ridiculous.
Billy Jack is not my lover. Let me just say that right now.
But it's one of those ones that's like, it's a guy going around like a cowboy hat beating people up. It seems like something we probably should watch for like like a schlocky horror picture show night of just like, shit movie night kind of thing. But I remember, the Jim O'Kane in the Movies by Minutes main page going like, it's criminal that someone hasn't made Billy Jack minute by minute late. Yeah. And just everybody was like, what the hell is Billy Jack?
I love his dedication to the most obscure franchise. Like, we think this is obscure. The stuff he picks is more obscure.
Oh, yeah. It's just the whole thing, a big group project. And it's like, what are we doing? This is going to be something like Casablanca. Or, the friggin' like Dance with Wolves or something. Like a big substantial film. And then it's like, Bowfinger. Yeah, okay.
I legitimately am the only person I know of who enjoyed Bowfinger, and I last watched it in the year 2001.
I think everyone who worked on that group project said they really liked it. So maybe Jim was just trying to bring it back. He's like, it's great, and no one ever talks about it anymore. So
I vividly remember people saying this is one of the worst movies ever made. So I don't know. I liked it. But,
I think I remember at the time it being relatively well regarded in that it was coming off both Steve Martin and Eddie Murphy having a load of bombs. And it was just like, oh, Jesus, these guys. And then it was like, oh, no, it's okay. Like, it's actually, it's pretty decent for those guys. Yeah. Like, so, that's weird now, yeah, too, because Steve Martin now, because he's just aged up, is just like, oh, everyone loves him in Only Murders in the Building. And Martin Short, I used to hate Martin Short so much.
Same.
And then Only Murders in the Building, he's the best thing. I was just like, he always just needed to be an old man. I think now that he's an old kind of campy man, I'm like, oh no, I love him now. He's brilliant. But when he was younger, this was very annoying. But now that he's like 70, I was like, no, I can get bored with this these days. But anywho, Miami Connection.
Yeah. What's the next bit? Oh yeah, we've had the drinks. So then we get a hell of a lot of generic martial arts screaming. Is what I'm going to call it. Before anybody even does anything. Just noise!
I think then we do get cause someone goes for YK. So I keep going YK. Mark.
You can go with either. It's one of those kind of movies. It doesn't matter what the characters are called.
And we get verification of what was on that the Anthony Kiedis looking guy's hat.
Yeah,
it was actually a Pink Floyd hat.
My guess was right.
Yeah, so I was hoping it was going to be pink flamingos, and it was one side of the hat, like the font had to get smaller and smaller as the word went along because he couldn't fit it. But
can we please make that as a hat now for the merch store?
just a giant pink and then gradually smaller flamingos as it goes in.
That would be incredible. Listeners, if you want that on a t-shirt or a hat or something, let us know. We could make that.
Oh, yeah, totally. But it looks like it's a pretty, like... Again, knowing the budget of this movie and just like probably the safety standards and everything, it looks like the guy just brought a knife from home. It doesn't look like a fake blade or anything.
It does look real. It does.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't look like it's not like a friggin' dagger or anything, but it looks like, he's like went into the kitchen and was like, the thing I use to chop up my steaks. Yep. I'm gonna come at him with this.
Well, that's the thing. Like in the context of making the movie, that's a bit like, oh, whoa. But in the context of the world of the movie, living within the movie, right? This is like a kitchen knife. You'd think a tough street thug could get a better blade than that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Like, obviously, it's still dangerous. It's a knife, but like he's a villain.
We had other people had like the little butterfly knives, the little flippy things we were talking about there the other week. It's I don't know. I'm surprised actually find out that some people, we obviously got Pool Q there in the background. And then we've got walrus mustached Gary Busey.
Yes, his hair is incredible. Look at that.
And that guy, he's the star of the minute. Even in a minute with Dexy's wonderful, the most boisterous of sons of bitches. This guy wins the minute for me because...
Is bopping?
Is bopping, and the fact that he has multiple opportunities to actually try to fight Mark, and he just doesn't.
He's not stupid. He's not going to fight that guy. He's fucking crazy.
It's just the extra himself is just like, I ain't going near that.
I'm not getting paid enough for this shit. Both the character and the actor.
This is like, But then anyway, so it could be... See, he really does remind me of Gary Busey, like 70s era Gary Busey for some reason. I don't know. It's just the vibes there, but no, that maybe Busey was just like, no, man, no, like but Gary Busey already has like brain damage from that motorbike crash in the 70s, so he's just like, no, I don't need any more kicks to the head. So no.
Wouldn't blame him.
No, but it's just he's just sort of like a character in Streets of Rage or something. He's just sort of like doing the same motion, and then everyone else is doing the polite, all right, you go in and attack. Nope, you're taken care of. You go in and attack. And then he's just like, there's minutes there where Mark's looking around for people to fight, and the guy's just like, don't look behind you because I ain't going for you, man.
Have you noticed as well? There's another woman, not just Barb. There's another woman.
No, I don't think I spelled the other woman. It's not Busey, is it?
No. Well, he'd make a nice woman, but no. Hopping across, like, starting at second 13 or so.
13, okay.
Going across the screen. Daintily.
Oh, yeah. No, there is another one.
I don't think we've seen her before, have we? We would have brought that up. We've brought Barb up every time.
Unless it could be a woman, it could be a guy with a very impressive mullet. It's hard to tell.
No, if you pause it at like second 14, I mean, there's a chest. You can see the shape, shall we say? A shapely chest, buxom. Oh, you know what? Is this the woman who was working out in jeans? Because that wasn't Barb, was it? Actually,
no. But I think she was quite stocky. I think the woman working out in jeans. Yeah. But yeah.
This is another one. Then I'm interested, and I can't work out if her trousers have like paneling down the side, or if they're like it's either paneling or leather. I think it might just be paneling on denim. I want them to be leather pants. Yeah. I want them to be leather, but I don't think they are. I think they're denim. Like a darker denim than Gary Busey has, though.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. But they always say, John, like, you know, between the choice between truth and legend, print the legend. So let's just say she's out there, Rock. She's like, it's a boiling hot Sunday morning when I'm hungover and I need to go fight some guys. I'm wearing my leather pants after this.
It's the logical choice, right? I mean, whenever I'm getting in a fight, I slap on the leather.
It kind of might be an intimidation technique as well. It's just like, all right, the one guy trying to make himself look like he's got a Japanese flag wrapped around his head, and that he might be like a karate master somehow through that. Maybe I indicate that I don't care that I'm wearing leather pants in this scenario. That'll make them fear me.
Well, I mean, it might be possible. There's enough people in this fighting in jeans, which are terrible things to fight in. Terrible.
Yeah. What's Mark wearing, actually? What's
jeans.
YK? Oh, but the thing is, I think he's earned the right. He can do it in jeans. Everyone else. To be fair though, Pool Q, he's got tracky bottoms on.
Yeah, he's sensible, right?
Yeah.
I am getting old because I've really got into wearing sweatpants now, right? And at first I was like, I'm never wearing them. They're horrible. But no, I bought some in black because I was like, well, they just look like trousers. Best thing I've ever done. Honestly, oh my God, everything's so nice. Oh, yeah. And you can dress them up with all kinds of things, and they don't look like sweatpants. It's great.
As you putting your paneling on the side of those as well.
Yeah, I'll put a leather panel, a pleather panel.
Yeah, everything about what's his name, Pool Q. As if that's his actual name. But
it
everything
is now.
Everything about that guy. He's maybe that's why he's got the Pool Q. He's just like, Busey, he can hang back and just like, you know, put on his fake mustache and pretend it's not Gary Busey hanging around in a no-budget martial arts movie. But, you know, he's, you know, very noticeably not fighting. But this guy's like, I'll pretend I'm in the fight, but I'm not actually going to go near the fight because I've just got this Pool Cue. So I'll just poke from a distance. And hopefully nothing will go wrong there.
It's a good tactic, I think. Nice one, Pool Cue.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, hang on. Should we call him Poolio?
Poolio, there we go.
It just dawned on me, Poolio. So Poolio, nice one. It's a good tactic. Keep him at, I was going to say arm's length. Keep him at Pool's length. Length.
He's always playing it. He's either playing it Pool or playing it Cool.
Cool. Pool and Cool.
I feel bad about the turn. I was like, that's the last we ever see that guy. It's like, oh, we just discovered this new character. Oh, he's gone. He's gone.
Oh, much like Coolio.
Oh, tragically, yeah.
R.I.P. Press F.
And then, of course, speaking of someone who's out of there, they're cutting to that shot of John booting it down between like the two. What was it? Like the train carriages, but they're like big oil tankard kind of things.
Yeah, I guess they're like. Yeah, probably filled with oil or petrol or something, but they are on a train, so it's kind of both, isn't it? Yeah,
but it's just the way he's like. It really, really, really looks like he's just running away. The opening part of that, it's just like,
but he's clever. He's clever. He does what I do in video games. I talked about this earlier. He's tricking them.
Yeah, he's going down to. It's not even like there's not even all that much of a trick to it because like you think they would see this coming. He's just sort of looking for a little space to dip behind for 1.5 seconds. Until he reappears just to boot them in the face.
That's all it takes, baby.
Yeah, I guess that's true. That's true.
Just bam, sneak attack. Because they thought he was scared and running for his life. Ha! Would a man wearing that wonderful, wonderful Lacoste top be worried about anything?
He has very... he's channeling the energy of Han Solo on that one bit in Star Wars where he's like chasing the stormtroopers.
Yeah.
And then... turns the corner and there's like a bunch of them and he's just like and just turns right back the other way.
It's like the opposite though.
Yeah, it's the same energy but the opposite intention. I guess.
Genius.
There's another one of these. I haven't seen that version in a long while, but I remember. I don't know if they just kept it as the bastardized version, or have they gone back and just refixed it? Because it used to be you turned the corner and Han saw like 12 guys maybe, and then they special editioned it to he sees like an entire like legion of troops or something.
Yeah, that's what it's got still. It's terrible.
Yeah, it's like, but the joke was fine. The joke was perfect the way it was. It worked. It worked perfectly.
Running into 12 of them is supposed to be scary. Doesn't need to be 200.
Running into 6 of them would have been scary. Yeah. But
I love the way as well. Just before this, we get that shot of Jeff doing his best. What I can only describe as like bad guy from Streets of Rage impression.
Yeah.
You know, he's just sitting off and watching it all unfold, and you know he's going to leap in when the time's right.
He's doing that thing. He's like, well, I don't want to get my hands dirty right now, but he's just like, I'll wear them down with my my human shields here.
If anything, that makes you look weaker, Jeff. That you need that.
That is true in one way, but it shows you how much power he has in that he has these people at his command.
Yeah.
To be like, I don't even need to do it myself. I'll get my other guys to do it. But
true. Makes him look like a you don't mess with, even if you win the fight, it's like, well, we don't want to mess with him again. He's got this crew,
Yeah. Although when you see the crew, it's got like, it's got Dexys in it. I mean, come on, how good could they be?
He's fodder. You just throw Dexy in first.
But it's the same tactic that I always had beef with Bane in the Batman comics. When they introduced Bane in Nightfall, his whole thing was like, yes, I'm going to destroy Batman. And to do that, I'm going to prove that I'm better than him and stronger and a better fighter than him by breaking out all the inmates of Arkham Asylum and waiting for him to fight them all one by one. And then do it so he's at his weakest, both mentally and physically. And then I'll beat him up, also using my super steroid enhancer because I'm so much better than Batman. It's like, you have cheated so much every step of the way. All you've done is like fundamentally prove that, like, if it was normal circumstances, I could never have beaten this guy.
Hey, but, look, as long as you're not trying to prove any, he doesn't care. He just wants the victory, right? He's not trying to prove a point. He's like, no, I just need to get rid of Batman.
The thing I love it is like, I want to be the man who broke the bat. Like, I'm going to be...
That's true. He does go on about that a lot, doesn't he?
He's a lot of his ego. He's just like, no, I have to be the one to destroy him and stuff. And it's like, yeah, did you destroy... I guess you could be like, well, I destroyed him by breaking out all the people. So, yeah, it'll always go back to me. But
no, you're right. You're right. That ruins my theory.
Yeah. I think it could be that he's just a bad guy. But it always bugged me, even as a kid, but like... I mean, you literally waited for him to be at this weakest possible moment, and then was like, all right, let's go. We're having a fight now, buddy. That's
the thing with bad guys, though. No honor. He's full of shit.
That's true. Although you listened to Star Wars Minute this week, that whole thing about... I'm surprised that never came up before. The debate about, like, why doesn't one Force user just turn off the other Force user's lightsaber with the Force?
Yeah.
And discovering that is like, oh, apparently that has been covered. And then it's some sort of... oh, wait, no, that wasn't a Star Wars, man. That was a different thing I was listening to. That's I think it was on Fat Man Beyond. Kevin Smith was talking about it. His question was just like, yeah, so two guys going at each other with lightsabers. You can move anything around with lightsabers. So why doesn't the other person just like turn off the other person's lightsaber?
That is quite a good question.
Yeah, apparently it has been because he's doing it in front of a live audience. Someone did stand up and go like, "No, it's been dealt with in the legends or whatever. That apparently it's considered unhonorable to do that, and so it's like an unspoken thing that like even the Sith obey that. They're just like,
I don't buy that part.
Yeah, they were ripping into it. We're just going like, so the Sith will blow up a planet, and they're like, yes, no problem with like, yes, I built a Death Star. And I'm going to destroy entire planets, but like, no, I would never turn off someone else's lightsaber in the middle of a fight.
That's just rude.
Yeah, this is a dishonorable thing to do. It's like, everything about you is dishonorable. You're the bad guys. But
that's kind of their whole gimmick.
Yeah. So again, even at that too, it would be like, if they did do it, what, the Sith going to throw them out? There's apparently only ever two of them at a time, so come on. It wasn't until Star Wars that I realized that was supposed to be the case of like, master and apprentice. I was like, yeah, there's a bunch of different masters and apprentices, and they all meet up and have a big Sith party.
When they said two, you thought like two per group.
Yeah, that was meant like, you'll get Sith and they'll always come in little couplets, but there'll be a bunch of them. There'll be a bunch of couplets, and then for them to be like, no, there are only ever two Sith at a time.
Yeah, that's
like,
stupid.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I was like, for years, I'm thankful I didn't know that when the Phantom Menace came out, because I was like, I would have been like, oh, this is even worse now. Like,
No, I'm exactly the same. I always believed it was, they come in pairs, a bit like witches are in threes.
Yeah.
That kind of a thing. It's like...
But there's not that those aren't the only witches in existence.
No.
They just happen to be like a little coven of witches. So.
Exactly. And like the video games, I mean, I might be wrong here, people. It's been a long time since I've played stuff like Knights of the Old Republic. But they talk about all these different Sith throughout the years, the decades, the centuries. And it's like, well, there can't have only been 2 at a time each time. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
There's like Sith planets and things. It's like, what?
Yeah, but then they're going, no, those are just Sith sympathizers. Okay, whatever. So maybe that's why they couldn't have the Knights of Ren and stuff be Sith. You can't have Kylo Ren be a Sith because it's like, no, he's in charge of the Knights of Ren. So then,
but his whole thing could have been tying in with his entire thing in the second movie. He could be like, yeah, I'm getting rid of that.
Yeah, to kill it if forget the past, kill it if you have to. It's just like, yeah, fuck it, why would I have 2 Sith? There could be a bunch of us. We can all just hang out. It'll be great.
Yeah, that could have been his entire MO. It's like, no, that didn't work. You guys failed before. I'm correcting it, and it still fails. That'll be the story, the moral.
Do you think, though, that Jeff and Yoshito, are they a Sith dyad or whatever?
Yeah, they definitely are. Absolutely.
I mean, there's a bit of lore cut where Mark catches wind of both of them, and he's just like, always 2 there are. Like a ninja and his bearded G.I. Joe lookalike.
Drug dealer. Always 2 there are.
That was very Irish Yoda. Always 2 there are.
Holy shit, now Irish. I need Irish Yoda in my life. I thought John Lithgow Yoda was good enough, but no.
But yeah, so Jeff then boots this guy in the face.
Hang on, yeah. Wait, no, hang on. I zoomed in.
Oh.
Right? Because it's just when they're chasing John and he kicks him.
Yeah.
Doesn't hit him in the face.
Oh. Where's he going? Oh, no, yeah, so he just kind of goes up for he punches him in the face, I think, at one point.
He does, but I had to zoom in for the purposes of the drinking game. Because I was like, oh, look, he must kick him in the face there. No. Gets him in the upper chest.
And I enjoy that they give this guy his own close-up.
This is my favourite thing other than son of a bitch.
That's where he then sort of mildly falls face first into the metal wheel.
Very slowly.
It's like, I don't want to hurt myself.
It's hilarious to me.
He just probably boops his nose on the thing. He's like, no, I've been defeated.
They even laugh about it in the commentary track. Well, they don't bring it up. It's just the guy interviewing them just starts laughing. He goes,
Let's see if YK sitting there what's so funny? This is serious, damn it.
The thing is, right, I understand from the actor's point of view, this could go horribly wrong. I'm going to be super careful, right? Couldn't they just speed the footage up 1.25 times? A little bit, not comically.
I mean, Joel Schumacher did it.
Yeah.
And everyone loved that movie. No one had any problems with Batman and Robin.
I think you can get away with it as long as it's not too much. You always notice it when it's cars. As much as I love it, the original Terminator, you can tell they've sped that footage up. Whenever the cars are going. But I think if you did it in the right amount here, you could make that look like he's actually smacked himself. He's actually collided with the thing and not just gone, oh.
I don't think he even needed it at all. Just all you had to do is just show him. Unless there's a cut there, they needed, John himself fumbled something in this take. And they needed to cut away for a second because something else was happening. But it doesn't really look... It looks like it's all pretty seamless. I don't really think they needed to put that in there at all.
No.
Yeah, it kind of makes it maybe make him look a little more intense because it's borderline like a curb stomp. It just looks like, his whole face goes into the freaking metal thing, broke his teeth or anything. But it's just so I feel like I've hit my head off the microphone harder just in recording it sometimes. So.
Yeah, I'm always injuring myself like that. I mean, maybe they were thinking, it's just showing the escalation of violence. The way it started out as, arguments and then brawls, and now people are getting their faces smashed into trains. What's next?
Oh, that'd be, you know, we'd be bragging about that person. Yeah, man, I got my face mashed by a train. It's like, oh, wow, he was in a really intense fight. Yep, Didn't lightly boop my nose on a freaking thing.
It'd blow it out of proportion. Yeah, the train was moving and everything, man.
Oh, yeah, totally. Like, every time it tells us, like, oh, my granddad got hit full on by a train going 65 miles an hour. Let's look at that, too, now, because then we get, John takes care of some other fools. And we get the return of Crop Top Kid Rock coming after him. I was thinking we should try to throw together a festival now that we had Coolio.
Coolio.
And we put together all the nicknamed people who've come up with so far, because we had, of course, Dragon Sound themselves, because the original, the best. Then we had Crop Top Kid Rock, Coolio, Dexys,
Vader.
But I guess Vader's not a musical act is the only thing, you see. But
I see what you mean. Okay, yeah.
So we could put together like a poster for a festival of, like, the Miami Festival set in Orlando.
Hell yeah. Let's do it.
Main stage, Dragon Sound, support Dexys, all that kind of stuff. That'd be the most obscure t-shirt ever. People going like, Dexy's Midnight Runners played second to some band called Dragon. Says, no, it wasn't actual Dexy's Midnight Runners. Right,
this is merch that we are making. We are going to make this like as a poster or something.
Oh, totally. And I've been like, is that supposed to say Coolio? No, that's Coolio.
Get it right.
But I gotta go back through the whole thing to try to figure out. Like, I have to go back through these episodes for so much to try to get things for the novelization.
Exactly.
And then also now to turn the novelization into a musical, as of the last minute, where not a musical film, but a musical novelization of
course. Yeah. Let me just go back 1 second. I will correct myself. The kick I thought you were talking about does hit the upper chest. There is another one a couple of seconds later that does hit the face.
Well,
I take that back, listeners. Have a drink.
Irish Yoda comes out to say, there is another.
I can't even do it. Now I'm on the spot. I can't do an Irish voice in front of you.
Is there another kick, John, or do you just want another drink? Is that what's happening here?
I don't need an excuse. Let me tell you. There is another kick. You were correct.
I think it looks as if Kid Rock, I think it's like a bike helmet he's got on. It looked like he was wearing a hard hat. Like he was like, he's going for the early 2010s fantasy females in like a World of Warhammer kind of way of dressing, of like, there's armor. He's got a hard hat on, but also he's wearing a crop top for some inexplicable reason.
That's an eternal issue with sort of female representation in fantasy.
Yeah.
And also future, what do you want to call it? I suppose like I'm going to call it future fantasy. Like Warhammer 40k.
Yeah.
And they do it in video games and everything. Women characters will often have this skimpy armor. It has the same stats as the male armor, but you're like, well, how though? You've got your whole midriff out. That doesn't make any goddamn sense.
I remember the only counter I ever heard to it that was sort of like, well, I guess it's them saying it, was that there was massive backlash when, the Amazonian scene in Justice League, Zack Snyder's Justice League, and people were going like, the Themysciran warriors in Patty Jenkins' Wonder Woman were like wearing proper armor and stuff, and then Zack Snyder came out, and then they were wearing much skimpier, so slightly more revealing outfits and stuff, and people were going like, what a friggin' this misogynist asshole and stuff like that. And then the stunt team, all the stunt women came out and were like, no, he developed that armor with us. It's actually based on proper old armor that's, Amazonian, or like, not Amazonian, but like female warriors in culture, like evidence of them throughout, whether it be like Aztec or something like that. It always looked a bit like this, and it's supposed to be for freedom of movement and all this kind of stuff. So
I get that, yeah.
The women doing it were like, well, they had his back. Like Zack Snyder didn't say something, they had to come to his defense. Like they appeared out of nowhere, going, no, this wasn't all him. This was us.
That's good to know then, at least.
Yeah, although all the computer games, all the video games, they are very much like they're just designed by men who are just like, oh yeah, looks pretty hot, right?
Basically, I like it when people take that and like lean into it and do something a bit like I love the movie Barbed Wire.
Yeah,
because it like Pamela Anderson knows what she's doing.
Oh,
like
totally.
It's all very deliberate.
Well, I'm still angry at Pamela though, because of that Netflix documentary she had where she's going on, and she paints the picture of like, the sex tape came out in like the mid to late 90s and then destroyed my career for 20 years, and I couldn't get work anywhere, and it just completely misses out VIP. And
wow, VIP was amazing.
That was like a faltering one season failure. It was like VIP ran for years.
Yeah, 4 seasons. Stone Cold Steve Austin on it once. Yeah,
and she was the star. She was the main attraction was Pamela Anderson. That was a very successful show. And it's like, just not mentioning it, it's kind of like, well, that's you deliberately altering the facts then to be like, well, oh no, it destroyed my career. Except for this, the early 2000s, I had a pretty substantial job, because I was the star of my own TV show. It wasn't like Baywatch where I was like second fiddle to David Hasselhoff. It was me. I was the show. Like I
think maybe she's trying to say that because didn't she help create that with them? She was some kind of producer on it, I think.
Oh yeah. Maybe
she's trying to say like, well, I couldn't get work, so I had to help make my own.
She doesn't mention it at all. She just bypasses it.
That's weird.
So I was always very like, it seems like you've been very selective with the truth there, Pamela. But
still love you, Pammy, but VIP was boss.
Oh yeah. Oh no, it was fantastic.
Like it was terrible, but I loved it.
I was there waiting. I was like, come on, just get the VIP. I have fond memories of it. I thought it seems like it doesn't exist anymore. Like it's like no one's remastered it to bring it out in DVD or on Blu-ray. There's no demand for it. It's just like, I'm demanding it. If you put it on a streaming service, I will watch VIP. But
Pamela Anderson, if you're listening, if you remaster it, we will make a podcast about it.
Yes.
There you go. Totally. I'm putting that promise out there right now, Pam.
Just tomorrow, just not VIP coming in 4K digital.
I will live up to my end of the bargain. If that happens, we're doing it.
No, we put that there with Manimal on our Patreon coverage. Yeah. Well, we still have to do Manimal as well. Actually, we should get on that as soon as this season of Batman ends. We can hop over to doing. I think I was looking into it. You just can't get it anywhere, but we'll find a workaround.
We will find a way. Yeah, I mean, I've been wanting for years to do one about Thunder in Paradise, the Hulk Hogan vehicle.
So if people want to watch this, it's currently available on YouTube, but it is illegally uploaded there. So hope you see the episode before the copyright holders take it down.
I'd have to distribute the episode alongside the audio.
Yeah, it'll have to be like I just downloaded it from that YouTube, so it is still VHS quality. But...
where are we? Oh yeah, I like this as well as John runs away from the train. He gets out of that little sequence he was in, and you get more and more baddies join the chase and try and cut him off in like a pincer maneuver. Genuinely like that because it's smart. It doesn't work, but it's good thinking.
Yeah, totally.
It actually shows the bad guys aren't just clueless buffoons.
Wow. At least in that one moment there.
Yeah, they're using their brain. They're trying to, not trick him, but trap him, I guess.
Yeah. And I enjoy this moment leading into this because there's there's a sort of long shot of them booting down, and there's a little ramp, and it has extreme like just what this was. It's like it's a bunch of kids basically playing 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 ninjas or whatever. Because a guy comes along and does this little hop onto the ramp.
Yeah,
it's such a childish move to be like. Just be like, just run around, just jumping everywhere. Like
Mom, watch this.
Yeah. It's just like, oh yeah, no, we're gonna go beat this guy up. Whoa. Like I know a 5-year-old now who's like, every time you see him, he just goes, yeah, and comes over and tries to fight you.
Because he watched this movie.
It's exactly because of or it's exactly the same sort of mindset, and I love it. I love it for them.
I wish I could live my life like that.
Yeah, these are all whole 42-year-old men just living out their childhood dreams.
What are you talking about? They're all college kids.
Come on, we're college guys and we're up to no good.
Yeah.
But yeah, of course, then we do get Mark surrounded. We've got Dexy's duh.
Yeah, he's getting taken on by 3 guys. Oh, that sounded wrong. That wasn't deliberate. That was not deliberate.
And so who goes? Dexy's duh goes first. Gets his ass handed to him. The thing is, he puts up somewhat of an impressive fight in that, like, there's a little maneuver. Dexy's classic form after all the freaking all the boisterousness, all the bragging, all that son of a bitch, I'm gonna get him. The one flaccid crap fling of his arm, and then poof, he's down. I love it. I would almost want it to be like, emphasize more that he's that useless, but don't even give him the time. He just gets knocked off screen, and that was the end of him.
He's not worth even focusing on.
Yeah, it's not worth the camera setup that were required to get that shot.
The first guy, the kicks that Mark gives him, they look pretty brutal. Like it's getting violent. I know it's fighting; it's always going to be violent, but I don't know what it is. Like everything seems like they've sped up the choreography. I think maybe this is Mark's finest work.
Yeah,
well, not Mark's. I mean Kim. Yeah.
I think that guy. Because he's the guy with the Top Gun shades. He was like, Dexy's dude. He strikes me like, because I know everybody in this was a student of YK's, the Taekwondo dojo. He strikes me though as a guy like, he definitely was, because he's a bit more leaner, a bit more muscular, and his kicks look impressive. It seems as if he would have been in the running to be one of Dragon Sound if he could play an instrument or something. Like
definitely, and look at his stance and the way he's moving. Yeah, it's very legit.
Yeah, he definitely has it. Like Dexy's doesn't have it going on at all, because he's not out of shape, but he's sort of just it's not quite. It's in slightly more shape than Dad bod, but it's kind of a dad bodish sort of thing he's got going on.
No, but he's in good shape, but it's not a fitness person.
Yeah. It doesn't like he's in the dojo, but he's not like he's the actor of the group. And then it was like, well, we have the actor, and then we have a guy who looks a bit like him, but can actually do the stuff. So this guy doesn't really get any lines, but he does look like, I don't know. I'm kind of surprised he's not in the film more, quite frankly. He looks much more. He's the most impressive fighter we've seen so far, at least.
Certainly out of the bad guy. Well, I'm talking about this gang of bad guys. We're not talking about Yoshito.
Yeah. Or Jeff, we haven't really even seen. We've only seen Jeff's skills in a very minor way thus far. We're like 50 minutes in, but because at least we got the showcase of Yoshito. The Yo showcase at the beginning, where he's freaking breaking flaming bricks and all that crap.
I like it though. Save Jeff for later, because it makes him a bit scarier as a villain, right? Like he's obviously good. Yeah, it is exactly that Simpsons joke of the guy standing there.
He's gonna do, and then he'll do the thing where like purple flames start to come out of his head, and he just starts floating up into the sky and stuff. It's like, you've seen but a fraction of my power, Mark. So Mark's just Biff's Jeff or not Jeff, Biff's Dexy's out of, and then another guy comes in, who's actually having it's very, very choreographed, but it's like, was it Mark goes to kick him, the guy, let's see, go walk through this. Mark goes to kick the guy ducks, then so I'm keeping him to fly because it goes that quickly.
Yeah,
I'm having to go back here. Kick, then Mark goes to trip him, the guy jumps up, like does a proper leap, so Mark's like under, sweeping the leg, doesn't work. As he lands down, then Mark gets him in the stomach. But it's very choreographed. It's all very much like, we've done this in rehearsals a million times.
It's good though, because like the guy is showing his skills. Like I am, avoiding your attacks successfully, and he gets taken out by the simplest move.
Yeah,
that's what's good. Like Mark, he's been fancy, but then he realizes fancy ain't working. I'm just going to feint and then kick you in the side. Got you. Yeah.
That's I mean, it's just it's another strong choice. It's a good way to end the minute, actually, too.
This is a great fight sequence. Genuinely, I really, really like all of this stuff. It's something I think it is. Maybe they've thrown this in later on, and this is YK Kim's stuff. This is me working overtime here. We're gonna get this right. This is a big set piece.
Oh yeah, I don't blame him. So it's like, we have to make our Taekwondo movie actually look impressive. And it can't just be me. Which it has been for the most part.
I think this is the most impressive all-round scene that we've had so far for the fighting.
I say too, there is a noted rise in intensity and stuff. So it's like, I think now, because we're getting into like the proper, how many minutes are in My Making Action overall? Because we're at minute 50. There's only like 80 something, isn't there? So
There are...
We're getting into like the last half hour, which means it's going to be like
87.
87. So there you go. It's like you got 37 minutes left. And then all that's going to be credits as well. So you kind of have to start amping up the actual violent intent of these attacks.
Yeah.
So
and something we didn't mention, actually, that when he's fighting the good one, what was it, Dexy? One of the kicks is to the face. Have another drink. Lovely.
Ah.
So, yeah, as we were saying, fancy isn't always best. Mark knows it. Boom, boom, got you. One of them at the very end gets up to continue the assault, but the minute stops there.
I think that's Dexy's do. I think he bounces back. He's bouncing back.
All right, Alan Partridge.
He's got his autobiography coming out imminently. Bouncing back.
Mark isn't slipping up yet, is he? He's doing well. He's fighting him off, but surely it's only a matter of time. He can't fight forever.
I mean, I guess we'll find out in minute 51.
Yeah, I mean, I did look up the commentary, as I mentioned. The most notable thing was them laughing at that bit. There wasn't much else other than reiterating how Kim coordinated all of the fights. There you go, saying that. I think it's a subtle way of saying, yeah, this is my work. All of this.
Yeah.
They were talking about how tough that was because he was coordinating the fights, appearing in them, and sometimes directing them. So it's like, oh, Jesus Christ. I genuinely don't know how he did that, especially with no experience.
So I just got distracted because I was remembering I seen a thing the other day. You talk about like, them having to record an audio track or audio commentary, and then just the idea of having to be there with YK Kim trying not to laugh at the movie like the whole time. It just made me think of I seen a thing where some guy said, like, I ordered a copy of The Room on Blu-ray, and it showed up in a pristine steel case. It had a free, it was height of pandemic, so it had a free mask with it, and it had a handwritten note from Tommy Wiseau saying, everyone gets like a free mask with my movie and stuff. And it's just like, oh, here you go, professional guy and stuff. And then I also ordered a Neil Breen movie. And it showed up in a crumpled envelope with no case, just a disc with no markings on it.
Was it in just like a little slipcase thing?
A little slipcase thing. And then the return address just said Breen. And I was like, yes.
I also totally get the vibe that Neil Breen is anti-mask.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. Yeah.
Definitely anti-vax.
I wouldn't be surprised, like, if you actually, like, if the next movie turns out to be some, like, anti-COVID conspiracy tirade or something.
Yeah.
It's going to be a whole big thing, and then it's like, we're all kind of done with that, though. And you're like, no, let me tell you why.
I don't want to tar him with this brush. For all I know, he's the opposite, but I just get that vibe.
To be fair, all his movies are shot in the desert, so maybe there's enough. He's doing enough social distancing for.
Yeah, he's safe anyway. He lives in a car eating tuna. He's fine.
But yeah. I mean, that's all I got for Miami Minutes number 50.
Same here. We're all the way at 50, people. That's insane. 50 technically 51 episodes, but the episode 0 doesn't count. It's episode 0.
Yeah.
But do, as usual, join us on Facebook at the Miami Minutes Taekwondo Orphanage, Twitter at Miami Minutes, Instagram and Threads Miami Minutes, and join our network Sleepy Charlie Media on, let's think, TeePublic and Patreon. I'm going to do them both. Double whammy. You can get bonus content and merchandise, respectively. And join us again in 1 week's time for Miami Minutes, Minute 51.
You knave of a bitch.
You whoreson, glass-gazing, super serviceable, cynical rogue.
Listen to me.